Today on Public Eye News, Rex Tillerson is out as Secretary of State, and an update on the coverage of the upcoming WCHA championship game between our NMU Wildcats and the Michigan Tech Huskies.
Caleb Rydell takes us through our upcoming weather forecast, and Ryan Gooch gives us an update on Major League Soccer and Drew Brees' new contract. Hi, I'm Mason Wallace.
And I'm Max Stevens, and this is Public Eye News. With the WCHA championship slated for Saturday night between Michigan Tech and our Wildcats, Fox UP has announced it will broadcast the game live from the Berry Events Center. The broadcast will begin with an hour-long pregame show beginning at 6 p.m. with Mark Evans and Dale Ellis on the commentary team. This championship marks the first time the two teams will play for the title in the UP, and the first time they've met in the postseason since 1994. The game will also mark the debut of the Jeff Sauer Championship Trophy. Also featured in the game will be WCHA Coach of the Year Grant Poltoni and the WCHA Goaltender of the Year Ate Tolvanen. And the Dickinson County Healthcare System and Bellin Health announced earlier this morning that they have come to an agreement on short-term financing to assist the DCHS. Bellin Health signed a credit agreement to provide DCHS with the funding needed to meet short-term cash requirements in order to reinforce their commitment to preserve the presence of healthcare in Dickinson County. The Dickinson County Board of Commissioners has scheduled a public hearing for Monday, March 26th at 7 p.m. Central Time. The vote on the acceptance of the DCHS Bellin Asset Purchase Agreement will take place at the hearing, with an anticipated closing date for the acquisition in late June or early July.
A jury trial has been set for the Gladstone woman charged with the drowning death of her infant daughter. Michaela Maupin has been charged with second-degree murder and second-degree child abuse. Last October, the Gladstone Public Safety responded to a call of an unresponsive 15-month-old who was later pronounced dead at OSF Hospital. Maupin has a pretrial on June 29th and a jury trial set for October 9th. And a Marquette man has been sentenced in Alger County Circuit Court for charges of negligent homicide. Timothy Preston has pleaded guilty to marine safety negligent, crippling, or death, and operating while intoxicated, causing death. His arrest came after 7 people were knocked into Lake Superior from his wooden construction boat. Preston was sentenced to 11 months in jail with a remainder of 45 days left to serve.
And the Michigan Department of Natural Resources has encouraged boaters to enroll in boating safety courses prior to the boating season, coinciding with the National Spring Aboard Take a Boating Safety Education Course campaign. Boaters born after June 30th, 1996, and most personal watercraft operators are required to have a boater's education safety certificate. And because of a growing number of accidents involving non-motorized vessels, including canoes and kayaks, Michigan's boating law administrator, First Lieutenant Tom Wanless, encourages all boaters, regardless of age or experience, to take a boating safety class. And a UP sports company has the unique opportunity to help create the courts for March Madness. Starting in the flooring mill, Connor Sports creates strips from Michigan maple trees, which eventually will be made into panels to create the courts. Staffing about 125 employees, Connor Sports is able to provide 12 courts for men's and women's regional, Final Four, and fan events during the tournament. The courts for the men's and women's Final Four have already been made for the Alamo Dome and Nationwide Arena and are set to be installed by Connor Sports technicians on March 23rd and 26th. Connor Sports has been providing tournament courts since 2006. And stay with us, because after the break, we'll have your national and international news.
Do you know me?
Of course we know you. Who could ever forget Pavarotti? And how his singing thrilled us for 50 years. Now some of his greatest performances thrill anew in a program that celebrates his amazing voice. Delight in Pavarotti, a voice for the ages, only on Great Performances.
Tuesday night at 9:30 on Public TV 13.
Welcome back. Mike Pompeo is set to replace Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, ending his turbulent tenure as a top American diplomat. The news came only hours after Tillerson returned from an African mission trip, having no face-to-face contact with President Trump. Many White House officials said Tillerson was informed on Friday of the decision when he was still in Ethiopia. The shuffling of many staff members comes as Trump is set to meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in May. And federal investigators and local police in Austin, Texas are looking into whether race is a motive in 3 bombings they say are likely connected. 2 packages left on doorsteps blew up yesterday. 1 killed a teenager. It was less than 2 weeks ago that a man was killed by another package explosion. Hannah Doba reports.
FBI agents are going door to door in this East Austin community, questioning neighbors still rattled after learning a 17-year-old was killed and an elderly woman critically hurt after packages left on their doorsteps exploded.
Is it going to happen again? Where, when, why? Who's doing this? Well, we don't know.
The first bomb went off Monday morning after the package was brought inside and the teen tried to open it. 5 hours later, just a few miles away, another explosion, wounding a 75-year-old woman. This was the 3rd package bombing in 10 days. The first happened earlier this month, killing 39-year-old Anthony Stefan House. All 3 bombings happened on Austin's east side, a predominantly minority and historically African-American part of town.
Well, we know that the victims of these 3 incidents, 2 were African-American and 1 was Hispanic. So again, we're not going to rule out the possibility that that may be a motive.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott is now offering a $15,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Hannah Doba, CBS News.
Britain has given Moscow until midnight tonight to explain how a nerve agent of Russian creation came to poison a former spy in Britain. Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson said UK officials are speaking to allies in the European Union and beyond to draw up a response to the attack, which has left a spy and his daughter in critical condition. Britain found themselves in a very similar situation 12 years ago after former agent Alexander Litvinenko was killed in London with radioactive poison in 2006. London expelled several Russian diplomats, imposed visa restrictions, and broke off intelligence cooperation as a response. Several of these options are available to Britain once again, but military moves and a potential cyber strike back are also on the table. And President Trump is watching today's special election in Pennsylvania, where a Democrat could be poised for an upset in GOP territory. The congressional seat is up for grabs since Republican Tim Murphy resigned in a sex scandal. Kenneth Gregg reports from Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania Democrat Connor Lamb cast his ballot early this morning just outside Pittsburgh.
Mr. Lamb, any predictions how close the race will be tonight?
No, I don't have any predictions. I'm just feeling very confident.
The 33-year-old former Marine is challenging Republican Rick Saccone. They're battling for a U.S. House seat that's been held by Republicans for 15 years. Saccone is banking on his work as a state lawmaker to win over voters.
The Democrats are trying their best. They're throwing everything they can at this race. There hasn't been an open seat for a long time, and they see that they might have an opportunity, so they're going to do everything they can to get there.
This congressional district is considered Trump country. He won here by nearly 20 points, but the mood since then may have shifted.
Yeah, I did.
Lana Hutchinson is a Republican, but not today.
Now on all these moral topics, I just can't. I have kids. I feel like I can't support what they're supporting.
That's exactly the sentiment Lamb is counting on.
I think it says a lot about Democratic enthusiasm around here. People are really excited for this race, and I'm happy for them that their voice is going to be heard all around the world today.
The results here could signal the nation's mood as we head into November's midterm elections. But polls show the race so far is too close to call. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
Today marked the first time Meghan Markle made a public appearance with Queen Elizabeth II. Among other senior royals, Markle and the Queen attended the Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey. Harry and Meghan attended in addition to Prince William and Kate, along with Prince Charles. The pair are set to marry at Windsor Castle on May 19th. And stay tuned. After the break, we'll have your weather and sports.
Say hello to everybody. It's a happy day in Botswana when a baby elephant named Naledi is born in captivity. But when her mother suddenly dies, the story changes.
This little girl has been through such a tragic experience.
Now her survival depends on the kindness of strangers.
If she doesn't build a relationship with us, we'll lose her.
What they need is love.
Wednesday at 8 after PBS NewsHour. Welcome back. I'm Caleb Bridell, going to be taking you through your weather for today. As you can see behind me, we got some snow going on out there, and looks like things might clear up tonight, but we're going to get some more clouds probably. Taking a look at right now, we're going to see some snow out there with a temperature of 21 degrees. Winds out of the northwest at 18 miles per hour and a barometric pressure of 30.30 inches and steady. Tonight we're looking at some clouds with a low of 15, winds out of the west at 12 miles per hour. And tomorrow, some more clouds with a high of 37 and winds out of the west at 13 miles per hour. Taking a look across the UP, we are going to see a lot of clouds, a little bit of snow, and a little bit of sun peeking out in Sault Ste. Marie, which is where we're going to start up in Sault Ste. Marie with 30. Manistee, we're going to start, is 26. Over in Escanaba, 25. And down in Menominee, 26. Taking a look at the western half of the UP, we are going to take a look at Iron Mountain first with 23. Ironwood with 25, up in the Keweenaw Houghton with 21, and back here in Marquette, 21 with some of that snow. Let's take a look at your head. Look ahead at your week. Thursday, we're going to see a high of 23 with a low of 13 and some clouds. Friday, high of 34 and 19 with some clouds. And Saturday, we're going to get a high of 39, low of 24 with some sun. Well, we got no surprises out there, and here we got some surprises with soccer, though, coming back, flying in with some balls.
Yeah, Caleb, it's just a great time to be a football fan, you know? Major League Soccer had an exciting opening to this season. Newcomers Los Angeles FC had a fantastic start, beating powerhouse Seattle Sounders 1-0, and continued into the next weekend, beating Real Salt Lake 5-1. Champions Toronto FC had a rough start to the season, losing to the Columbus Crew 2-0. Second-years Atlanta United have had a pretty up-and-down start to the season, first losing 4-0 to the Houston Dynamo, but then coming back the next weekend and beating DC United 3-1. New York City FC and the Vancouver Whitecaps are the only other two teams to win both of their opening two games. And any speculation that Drew Brees will be leaving the New Orleans Saints has officially been put to rest. Some concern for Saints fans had arisen when it was reported that the Vikings had called to inquire the possibility of landing Drew Brees. However, the Saints were happy to report that they made significant progress coming up with a new deal on Monday, and the quarterback agreed to sign it today. The contract is a 2-year deal and worth $50 million with $27 million in guarantees. And only 7 more match weeks remain of the 2017-18 Premier League season, and things are still too close to call. Manchester United managed to beat Liverpool 2-1 with a brace from Wonderboy Marcus Rashford, giving them a comfortable 4-point cushion in second place. And after winning 4-1 against Bournemouth, Tottenham made a surprising leap into third place. West Brom looks set to be relegated at the end of the season, as they are 7 points behind everyone else in the bottom of the table. However, there's only a 4-point gap between 19th place Stoke and 14th place Swansea, and all the bottom half teams are fighting to stay out of the remaining 2 relegation spots. The only thing that is clear about the season is that Manchester City are set to win the league, considering they only need 2 more wins against Everton and Man United to win the league, and with Everton in very sloppy form as of late, we could have a very exciting Manchester derby in store for us. Now, Mason, Manchester City really managed to steal the trophy from everyone else in the Premier League, and I hear you have a story about someone who stole something as well.
Yeah, this was a pretty low blow. A distinctive tuba stolen from Preservation Hall Jazz Band in New Orleans is back. Ben Jaffe, creative director, said he recovered the 12-year-old Italian sousaphone on Monday, thanks to an anonymous tipster. The sousaphone has been sent to a specialist to be repaired because some of the valves were bent. And high school sweethearts in New Jersey got married in the hallway of the school where they met 3 decades ago. The ceremony was small, with only family members at the Clifton High School. The couple dated briefly in high school before going their separate ways and reconnected in 2016. And that's all the time today on Public Eye News, but join us again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.